Invisible. Ivy woke with a start. Another night of strange dreams. She couldn't remember the details, only that she felt afraid. She stretched and got out of bed, pulling back the curtains. It was a sunny morning, a perfect day to walk in the park and clear her head. After a quick breakfast, Ivy got ready. As she brushed her long brown hair, she looked at her reflection. Why did the other girls at school ignore her? She thought she was pretty, with her green eyes and petite figure. But they walked past as if she wasn't there. Ivy arrived at the park and enjoyed the fresh air. Birds sang happily in the trees. A family played with a frisbee near the pond. An older couple strolled arm in arm on the path. Ivy watched them with interest. Would she ever find love? She walked deeper into the trees, away from the others. A flash of movement caught her eye. Ivy turned and gasped. A large black shadow moved between the trees. She stepped closer for a better look. Suddenly, a man lunged at her from behind. He grabbed her arms tightly as she struggled. "Please let me go," cried Ivy. He didn't say a word, just dragged her further into the dark forest. Ivy kicked and twisted, but he was too strong. She opened her mouth to scream, but no sound came out. She tried again with the same result. Ivy started to feel strange, like she was fading away. Her captor seemed nervous too, looking around wildly. She realized with shock that she was becoming invisible. The man stared in fear and released her arms. Ivy disappeared completely. Alone in the empty forest, she concentrated on becoming visible again. Slowly, her body returned. She ran as fast as she could out of the trees and back to the park. Leaning against a tree to catch her breath, Ivy wondered what just happened. How was she able to turn invisible? And who was that man? Shaken, she hurried home, constantly looking over her shoulder. For the next few days, Ivy stayed inside. She searched the internet but found nothing about imaginary powers. Had she dreamed the whole scary event? Finally, curiosity got the better of her. At night, she sneaked out of the house and returned to the forest. Ivy took a deep breath and focused on disappearing. Slowly, her hands faded from view. She looked down in amazement as her body became transparent. Ivy explored the forest silently, unseen by anyone. At first it was exciting, like being a superhero. But soon, loneliness set in. Why did this gift come with such isolation? She practiced turning visible again and returned home, more confused than ever. The next morning, Ivy decided to test her skills. At school, she watched the other students from the corner, invisible. They gossiped and giggled without a care in the world. She listened in on their private conversations, amazed by what she heard. During class, Ivy sat invisible, soaking up knowledge without having to participate. It was a fun challenge. But staying hidden started to take a toll. Ivy wanted friends, not secrets. After a week, she approached two girls from her English class. "Hi, I'm Ivy. Would you like to have lunch together?" They exchanged glances, as if seeing right through her. "Sorry, I don't know an Ivy," said one, before walking off with her friend. Ivy's heart sank as the invisible walls closed in once more. That night, exhausted and upset, she fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, Ivy woke to loud arguing outside. She peeked out the window and froze in shock. The entire town had disappeared. Empty cars sat abandoned in the middle of silent streets. Notes flapped in the wind, calling for help. Was she the only one left? Ivy's mysterious gift came with a terrible price: loneliness so deep it threatened to swallow her whole. Now, with an entire town missing, she may be the only hope to solve the mystery and bring everyone back. But can Ivy overcome her isolation before it's too late? Her incredible journey has only just begun. Ivy wandered the empty streets in a daze, calling out occasionally in case anyone was hiding. But there was only silence. She walked into the school, hoping to find clues, and gasped. On the blackboard was a message written in chalk. "You must embrace your gift to save your town. Go to the forest at midnight." Ivy shivered. Who left this strange message? And what did it mean? As night fell, she paced nervously at home, debating her options. At 1 minute to midnight, Ivy steeled her nerves and headed out. The forest was pitch black and foreboding. Ivy used her invisible powers to navigate safely through the dark trees. Suddenly, glowing eyes appeared ahead. A mysterious figure emerged, cloaked and hooded. "I'm here to help you understand," said a soft voice. The figure beckoned for Ivy to follow. They walked in silence for what seemed like hours, twisting deeper into the forest. Ivy started to worry this was a trap. Then the trees opened to a clearing, bathed in moonlight. Dozens of others stood gathered, eyes glowing eerily. "We are like you, with special gifts," said the cloaked one. "For too long we lived in shadows. But together, with your help, we can reclaim our town." Ivy listened in shock. It seemed she wasn't alone, but could she trust these strangers? As the sun rose, they offered her a choice: join their mission to harness supernatural powers, or try to save the town alone. What path will Ivy choose? Her toughest challenge awaits amid the silent streets. Ivy took a deep breath, unsure of her decision. These strangers promised answers, but could she trust them after they took the town? "I will join you," Ivy said finally. "But you must return the people first in good faith." The cloaked figure nodded. "As a sign of goodwill, we will release those closest to you. The rest depend on your cooperation." That evening, Ivy's parents appeared at their front door, dazed but unharmed. They recalled nothing after strange lights in the forest. Now Ivy trained with the mysterious group, learning to harness her gift. One woman, Sarah, took Ivy under her wing. Our powers isolate us from society, Sarah explained. We want respect, not fear. With your leadership, we can form a community where all gifts are celebrated. Ivy practiced deepening her invisibility and discovering new talents. But doubts lingered. Were their goals really so peaceful? When would the town return completely? One night, Ivy followed several members stealthily. To her horror, they experimented on captured townspeople in a hidden lab. She confronted Sarah, demanding the truth. Some will do anything for power, Sarah said coldly. Now either stand with us, or face the consequences. Ivy realized her mistake. To save her town, she must outwit these deceivers at their own dangerous game. But can one girl defeat a coven with superhuman control? Her greatest challenge has just begun. Ivy knew she had to act fast. Under cover of night, she quietly warned her parents to flee town. Go to the police, I'll handle things here, she said, hoping they'd make it to safety. Now alone, Ivy worked on her escape plan. She spied on the coven from the shadows, learning their routines and watching for weak points. The laboratory bothered her most. She had to destroy their research. One night, Ivy waited for her chance. Under the light of a full moon, she snuck into the lab and began sabotaging equipment. Suddenly a voice rang out, "I always knew you'd betray us." Ivy spun around to see Sarah blocking the exit. A fierce battle ensued as Ivy fought to escape. She used her new skills to turn invisible and disorient Sarah, but her old mentor knew her tricks. Just when it seemed Ivy would be defeated, Town Sheriff Mark Franklin and a SWAT team stormed the lab. In the confusion, Ivy knocked Sarah out and helped the police round up the remaining coven members. The townspeople were freed, reunited with loved ones. Later, Ivy told her story and was hailed as a hero. For the first time, she felt accepted by her community. As for Sarah and the coven, they faced justice for their crimes. Ivy's journey taught her to embrace her gifts and stand up for others. Though new mysteries may arise, she has found purpose and friendship. Her invisible gift won't keep her alone anymore.